Right. Hello, this is Nier,
Hi, this is Will.
and we're gonna talk about our game that we got for our final project called Space Alien Boss Fights. Uh,
Yeah.
it's created in Game Maker Studio, as you can see here, and take it away.
Yep. So we started off with the random generation of the arenas that you're seeing here. So it picks a random length and width, and then a random number of walls, obstacles, and lava pits. Um, and then to get them looking like they are now, it picks a random location, and then performs a random walk for a good number of steps, just adding walls up, down, left, or right from that random location. So you get this nice spread out kind of random looking shape. And then since it was a little too jagged, we performed a blur function over the entire arena. Basically, if any floor tile is surrounded with a bunch of other features, it'll copy that. And if any feature tile is left out in the open with a bunch of floor around it, it'll just delete it. So it kind of gets stuff clustered into more smooth looking groups. And then the player control is just WASD to move around, and then you can shoot those little slime swords at the boss in the direction of your mouse.
Yeah. So, so the boss here you can see has like a head, a body, and some legs. So each one of those are randomly chosen. They have 3 options each, so a total of 9 different body parts. They're chosen with an evaluation function that looks at the previous head and body and legs and tries to choose a different one. It'll try up to 2 times to choose a new one, and then after that it'll just pick whatever it has. The other thing it does is, what was it?
The evaluation function.
Yeah, so it also looks at the difficulty of the head, the body, and the legs. Each body part is given a difficulty between 0 and 2, as shown. So 0 is the easiest, 2 is the hardest. This allows the boss to have a ramping difficulty, as we have like a global variable setting that says, hey, this is the current difficulty the player's on based on the number of levels he's played or succeeded at beating. And it chooses boss parts it chooses the boss parts based off that difficulty and totals the 3 parts it chooses to find if it's within the difficulty range. If it's not, it re-rolls and tries to get a boss that is within that difficulty.
Yeah, and then each boss part has a different attack associated with it. So the real challenge here was, how do we create an AI agent that can use this random set of attacks effectively? So for that we used a utility-based system. Each attack has a different utility function that takes into account stuff like the player's location or the boss's location, and is able to come up with the utility of performing that attack at that moment. So by keeping each attack in like this atomic little unit, it could take a random selection of any attacks and use the utility functions to determine the appropriate time to use them, no matter what its loadout happens to be.
Yeah, so for example, one of the utility functions, they commonly look at how far the player is, and based off a value that we define, it chooses a different utility with the with like linear fall off. And it also sometimes looks for line of sight to give it a bit of a percent boost to the attack it chooses to use. You can see like the missiles here, the fireballs, and the different kind of movements based off the legs that the boss has.
Yeah, each type of leg has a different movement behavior as well. So this one's kind of floating around, the other one is walking at like right angles. So that contributes to the difficulty value of the legs too. So they don't have an attack of their own, but create a unique boss in their movement pattern as well.
Yeah. So the last thing is, as you can see, the colors of the arena change with every level to give it a little bit of variety. And that's about it. So thank you for watching.
So
and
yeah,
that was our
thank you for watching.
project. Bye bye.